Hey everybody, welcome to the stream again. We're going to do a recap of AEW tonight. Let me just pull up my notes because I actually took notes this week. So feel free to come in, go ahead, ask any questions you want. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my notes here and we will get going. So notes. Okay, got my notes ready. We're ready to go here. You know, I think next week I need to just put my notes on a separate sheet of paper. You know what I'm saying? There's a separate sheet of paper. Yeah, so trying something new here. I don't know if I like all these lights, man. It's like, oh man, it's like a lot of lights. You know what I mean? But I figured, hey, let's try something a little different than my normal live discussions. Let's see how this thing works. And we're good to go. I got my water here. We're good to go, guys. And let's see how this goes. You know what I mean? So the first match was notes here. First match was Young Bucks versus Private Party. This was the first round of the tag titles with Private Party winning. I thought was an excellent match. I didn't think Young Bucks were actually going to lose that match. They really put over Private Party. I don't know anything about Private Party. Just full disclosure, I don't know anything about a lot of these wrestlers. Like I said, I've been out of the wrestling game for a while now. But I thought tonight was a pretty solid show. We had the fallout of last week's episode with Chris Jericho and Jack Swagger, whose name is Jake Hager, and I guess that's his real name, I'm guessing. And so we had the fallout of that. Chris Jericho basically confronted the crowd, and he's basically putting his own stable together, which is called the Inner Circle, which I like. I guess it's a okay name, I suppose. The Inner Circle. I mean, we heard of the Click, and all that stuff. Better than TNA's, what was it, the Immortals or whatever the hell it was called. So the Inner Circle, I like it. I don't know if I like that little Justin Bieber motherfucker though. I'm not a big fan of the Justin Bieber motherfucker. This dude looks like he weighs about 50 pounds, soaking wet. Like I can literally sneeze and blow that guy away. So I'm not a big fan of him. What was his name? Guevara, whatever his name is, Sammy Guevara, whatever. Not a big fan of him. I think he's a pretty good wrestler. I don't like his look. He needs to do something like he looks too like a baby face. Even though he's not a baby face, he's got that Justin Bieber look. I'm not a big fan of that. And I just kind of wish they would have done something a little different with that. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta do something here. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it next time. Well, fuck it. I'm already halfway in, so... Already halfway in. Let me just do it now. Do it now and get it over with. Bear with me, guys. On the way down. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Da, 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 boo, 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 boo. Okay, because something was bothering me. Just bear with me. Nope, that's not the picture I'm looking for. That is the picture I'm looking for. So, all right. So where was I? Oh, and by the way, guys, you guys can go ahead and this is a live discussion, not just like a recap, but a live discussion where we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about it. But I thought it was a solid show. I like how they came up with their own stable called the Inner Circle. I really like that. I think it's a solid new stable. I have a feeling this is going to. Sammy Guevara is a good man. Well, I'm not saying he's a bad man. I'm just saying I just don't like his Justin Bieber looking ass, you know? I mean, he's coming around. He's got the fucking head shaved. It looks like he's got a fucking dorsal fin on top there, and he's just going around. Yeah, and the motherfucker looks like he's 50 pounds soaking wet. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of his character persona just yet. Duke can wrestle. I'm not going to lie. Duke can wrestle, but I need to see more, man. I just can't have him going around looking like, a cocker spaniel. You know what I'm saying? But I like the Inner Circle. I like everybody else in the stable. I really do. I like the two Latinos. I don't know their names right off the bat right away. Like I said, this is like I'm new. I'm just getting back into wrestling. But I like them, even though Homeboy's got this real problem with his tongue sticking out. Yeah, he's gonna have to roll that thing up and stick it back in there or something. So I have a feeling this is gonna lead toward the confrontation of Inner Circle versus All Elite. So I have a feeling that's definitely going to lead into something soon. Just my personal thought on it. Santina and Ortiz, yes. You're very much a play-by-play. I like you, Cole. You're really helping a brother out here. You're trying to figure out all these names. So anyway, I like the whole Inner Circle. The first match I thought was a fantastic match. I was really surprised to see Young Bucks get knocked out in the very first round, but they really put over Private Party. I thought Private Party did really, really good. I never seen them before, so I thought that was a really good tag team. I would have liked to see Young Bucks go a little further in the tournament and then get eliminated, putting someone over. But hey, they put someone over in the very first round, so that means that that's a team that's going to really go the distance in this tournament, I think. So, yeah, I was surprised by that, but great match. I think that was the match of the night, if I'm going to be honest with you. Then we had the Jericho promo with the Inner Circle, which I thought was solid. Then we had Jimmy Hancock versus Darby Allin. And this was, okay, so this is one little critique I had with the show. I like the show overall, but it was a knowledge to me that AEW was going to focus on wins, losses, and every match counts, okay? All right, that's great. They've been doing that. I've been like that. When the wrestlers come out, it's got their win-loss records. I like it. They're taking it serious. I like that. The problem I have is we already have a title match for the pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes versus Chris Jericho. This is a match that has already been, keyed on it, right? So why are we having a match between Jimmy Hancock and Darby Allin? I almost said Darby Plaza. Darby Allin, and the winner of that match gets a title shot next week. Why? Why are we doing a title shot next week when we have a title shot going on this coming pay-per-view? And because I hate when they do that, because you already pretty much know the outcome of the match. Like, well, obviously Allen's not going to win the match now because we know Jericho's got to fight Cody Rhodes at the pay-per-view. So it's almost like, why do I even bother watching next week's match when I already know the outcome and it's going to be Jericho versus Cody Rhodes? And it was either JR or Tony Schiavone kind of slipped up toward the end of that match or at the end of the show tonight, and they're like, oh, Cody Rhodes and Jericho, we're gonna get to see who wins the title at this coming pay-per-view. That completely overshadows Allen's win. And I thought that match was fantastic. The Allen match tonight was fantastic. I mean, I don't know how I feel about two gothic guys competing against each other. I'm like, okay, it's fine, right? They both have their look, but they look like they belong as a tag team, not fighting against each other. It's like, why does this company have two satanic lovers who are like gothic and whatnot? Neither here nor there. I like the match, besides the fact that Homeboy had a real problem with biting people, and you just got to get over that, son. But Allen ended up winning the match. And I want to see the match next week, but the problem is I'm rooting for Allen, and I shouldn't have to root for Allen because I already know Allen's not going to win because it's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Jericho. And I seen someone in here, someone said triple threat. Who was it? RDD said they might make it a triple threat. Okay, they might make it a triple threat, but then we're sort of getting to like the WWE shit, right? Whereas like, you know, we're waiting for this one-on-one, and then it's like, oh, no, we're making it a triple threat. We got a super chat coming in here from Dane Insane. They're going to do a title shot to draw more views away from NXT next week. Yeah, I understand that. I get that. I do. They're trying to put their cards on the table, trying to get out much big matches as they possibly can. I understand that. But by them doing a title match next week, it completely overshadows the Cody Rhodes Chris Jericho match because we know Allen's not going to win. We know he's not going to win. You know? So what are they going to do? What are they going to do now? What they should have done was Allen versus whatever that other guy's name was. Winner of that takes on the winner of the Jericho Cody Rhodes match the next night after the pay-per-view. That would have been better because then you would have a whole month to build up this Allen character. Now, people like me who are watching this for the very first time or the second week, you know, we see Allen win. We want him to compete against Jericho. We are rooting for this underdog versus Jericho, but we know he's not going to win because they already set up the title match between Rhodes and Jericho. Now, the only thing I can think of is maybe RDD is right. They're going to try to make this a triple threat match. Maybe he fights Jericho. It ends with disqualification or time limit, like his match with Cody Rhodes. It goes up against the time limit. And they're like, well, you know, he didn't lose or whatnot, and it wasn't fair, whatnot, and they make it a triple threat. But then I feel like it takes away from Jericho and Cody Rhodes. Now, what they also could do, and it's possible, and it might work, is this happens, it causes a triple threat match, which then has this young guy and Allen take on Cody Rhodes and Chris Jericho in a pay-per-view, and he overcomes the whole thing and wins the triple threat against two, you know, veterans of wrestling. So it would make him look even more superior, really putting him over even more. I don't know. There's a lot of things there's a lot of different ways they can take it. Right now, I just kind of frown like they're having a title match next week. And this show, AEW, is really suffering from a mid-title belt. They need a mid-title belt. They need to get a television title. Like, they just need one. Like, I don't want a United States. I don't want Intercontinental. Just make a TV title. Because right now there is no mid-carders. Like, I'm watching. This is the second week, the second show. I liked the second week. I thought the show was great. But it's definitely missing a mid-card feel to it. Whereas right now, we're just like everybody who hasn't watched the pay-per-views, we're learning all these characters, right? We're learning, you know, Hangman and Havoc and Pac and all these wrestlers. Like, we're learning all these newer wrestlers, right? And all these wrestlers are competing for the title. They're all competing for the big title, right? And so at that point, they're all working toward that goal, so they're all working for the main event. So there is really no mid-card. And I think they really need a mid-card title. I think they need to, try to, I guess, go ahead, do the heavyweight championship, the AEW championship. You have the tag team tournament going on. We crowned the women's title last week. We really need a TV title. We really need a TV title because then you won't have to worry about, the situation where Allen is going to go ahead and why a TV title? Because a TV title makes sense, right? You don't want like a United States title because, that was a WCW and a WWE thing. Same thing with Intercontinental title. You don't want to do Cruiserweight title because you don't want to box in your wrestlers into a cruiserweight division, where a TV title, ECW and WCW both have a TV title, right? Look at some of the wrestlers that held the TV title in both ECW and WCW. I'm talking about legends like Diamond Dallas Page, Booker T, Rob fucking Van Dam, Chris Benoit. These were all like legit championship wrestlers, like legit wrestling, and they all held the TV title. So the TV title will have just as much significance as maybe as the AEW title. No, we're not gonna do a hardcore title. That's gimmick shit, man. That's WWE gimmick shit. Don't do fucking hardcore title. Don't do that fucking lightweight shit. Because once you do that shit, that's all gimmick shit, man. That's all gimmick. There's no, because if, for instance, if you do a lightweight title or a cruiserweight title, that automatically takes someone like Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara and automatically box them into a division, and these guys should be contending for the heavyweight title, right? The AEW championship. So having a TV title will give like a second like mid-card title, and I just think it would make a hell of a lot of sense, right? It would make a hell of a lot of sense, and that's the reason why WCW and ECW had it, and WCW had a lot of titles. Like WCW had like tag team titles, cruiserweight titles, United States title, the World Heavyweight title. They introduced the Hardcore title later on, but you don't want to go into these gimmick titles. You don't want to do like WWE. And speaking of WWE, what Chris Jericho said about WWE was hilarious tonight, where the crowd started chanting "We the People" when Jack. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. Dane Insane. Thank you so much for your super chat, my buddy. I appreciate it. I hope I answered your question correctly, man. I hope I answered it to your standards, sir. Everybody started chanting "We the People" when Jack Swagger was out, when they were doing the Inner Circle promo, and Chris Jericho was like, "Stop chanting, that shit sucks." He's like, "That's from a crappy creative choice, like just bashing WWE, which really put the fans more in Jericho's circle or court, where they were actually cheering for that." But yeah, I love the whole Inner Circle thing. One title for singles and tag team. Yeah, but then you get into the whole thing where next week we got a world title match. We got the world title match when we already booked the title match 2 weeks from now at the pay-per-view. If you have a TV title, you have another title, okay? So you got more stuff to talk about. So I'm just gonna bring this up right now. I wasn't gonna go ahead and bring this up. I see people commenting on this. People are like, "Rob, we running out of stuff to talk about. Hey, wrestling's fake." Yes, I am fully aware wrestling is fake. But you want to know what else? All entertainment's fake. Okay, just saying. Marvel movies, DC movies, CW shows, they're all fake. Okay, just I'm not fucking stupid. I understand. Wrestling's fake. It's a form of entertainment. I've been out of wrestling for about 8 years. I haven't watched wrestling for about 8 years because I didn't like where the product was going. Finally, a product like AEW's come now. I want to try to support AEW. I realize that a portion of my subscriber base likes wrestling. They want to hear my thoughts. I did a live stream on AEW, their first show last week. It turned out positive. So I was asked by some subscribers if I could make this a weekly thing, and I'm going to try to make this a weekly thing. So if it's not your cup of tea, it's fun. Everybody has their own things they like and things they don't like. If you don't like it, you're more welcome to leave the live stream and go watch some of my superhero content. But Wednesday nights are going to be my AEW nights until I see the viewership decline where I know people are no longer interested in it. The fact is, I'm trying to expand the channel. I'm getting back into wrestling because I think AEW is a good product. I like what they're doing. I wasn't happy with WWE was doing for many, many years. That's why I stopped watching about 8 years ago. And I want to try to support AEW. And it gives me something else to talk about other than the fact that Robert Downey Jr. is not getting an Oscar nomination for playing fucking Iron Man. Okay, guys? Jesus Christ. Okay, so yes, I'm gonna talk about some other things every now and then. There's gonna be times I talk about Star Wars. I tried doing video games. Guess what? Doesn't work on my channel. So you know what? I scratch that off. I move on to the next thing. You can only talk about superhero content so much. I had a whole hour and a half superhero discussion last night. You guys can go back, check that out. This is for the wrestling fans on my channel. You don't have to watch it. You're entitled to your opinion. So I addressed that. I will not address that again. So that is all I'm going to say about that matter. We're going to move on. So, I talked about the Young Bucks match, which I thought was a fantastic match, was match of the night. The Chris Jericho Inner Circle promo. The Jimmy, it was Havoc, right? Jimmy Havoc? Autocorrect put Hancock. So yeah, Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin match, which was a solid match. Then we get to the women's tag team match, okay, which was Riho, who won the women's title last week, versus Britt Baker versus Sakura and Pearsley. That chick is kind of hot, man. She has like that dark gothy look. You know, and it also helps that her thong was showing through the entire match. I thought that was a pretty solid match. Did not like Sakura. Okay, I'm sorry. You know, I understand she's a veteran and everything, but I just did not like her. I just found her kind of annoying, actually, and just wasn't a fan of her. And she really didn't fit Pia, what was her name? Pearsley didn't really fit her style. I do agree with you, Cole. I do think Riho carried the match. You look at all the memorable moments of the match, and it was all Riho doing different spots and stuff. I would like to see, but see, what I think they set up really well in this match is they set up a match that I wasn't interested in until after the match, was Britt Baker versus Pearsley. I'm interested in that match now, because I feel like this tag team match was a setup to that match. And I think that's gonna. And I'm not sold on Baker yet. Like she's a dentist, right? Like, I understand dentists are doctors, but she has literally has teeth designs on her costume. But I don't know if that's gonna be a match at the pay-per-view, those two. But they kind of built on that. I agree with what Cole is saying, that Riho did carry the entire match. She had some of the best spots throughout this match. I felt like the match was a little short. Did not like Sakura. I gotta be honest with you, though. Like, if I would never see her wrestle again at AEW, I would not shed a tear. I would have much preferred, instead of Sakura, they should have got what's her name, Rose, Nyla Rose from last week, who lost to Riho. It would have been a good thing, like Baker and Riho versus Pearsley and Rose. I think that would have been a better combination. I understand it's the second show on TNT, so they want to try to get as much exposure. So if you keep having the same wrestlers week after week, you're not gonna be able to expose your other talent. So I understand that. Adam Cole, his girlfriend is I don't even know what you said. Adam Cole's girlfriend is Britt Baker. I don't know who Adam Cole is. Dane Insane comes in with another super chat, buddy. Do you have the same problem with Riho defending the title against Dr. Baker next week as you do with Allen versus Jericho? No, I don't. One, I did not know that Riho is defending her title next week. I didn't know that was. I didn't know they confirmed that at all. So that's interesting. I have a problem with that, but not for the reason why you think I do. I don't have a problem with her defending against Baker next week, because as far as I know, she doesn't have a title defense at the pay-per-view. Right? I don't think they made a match going, oh yeah, Riho's going to defend that title against Awesome Kong at the pay-per-view. And I'm like, well, she's fighting Baker next week. Like, we know who's going to win that, But so they didn't do that, so I'm cool with that. The one thing is, I don't like the fact that she's defending it after winning it 2 weeks ago. She just won it last week, and now she gets a tag match the following week, and now she's defending the week after. I just got talking a couple minutes ago about you need to expose your other talent, right? At this point, what they need to do is they need to start getting these other women out here, getting exposed. I know Awesome Kong is on the roster, but we haven't seen her wrestle. I don't know who Baker beat to get a title shot. So I don't, like as a fan who's watching, this is week 2, we don't know who's wrestling. So why is she defending her title against Baker just 2 weeks after? I believe they said last week that Baker was #1 contender. I understand that, but why not save that for the pay-per-view? Why have her come in and automatically defend the title after winning it just 2 weeks ago? That's what concerns me about that. And why are you going to have a women's title match on the same night as your AEW title match? Because now you're going to have 2 title matches next week. So what are you going to do for your pay-per-view? If you're giving away title matches, and don't get me wrong, I love title matches on TV, right? That's why you need a TV title. So you're not defending your big titles every week because you need to sell your pay-per-views. If you're not selling your pay-per-views, you're not making revenue. If you're not making revenue, you're going to be WCW and TNA all over again. You don't want to do that. But where was I going with the train of thought? Oh, so to answer your question, Dane is saying, and thank you for the super chat again, my friend. I don't have a problem with that because as far as I know, there isn't a title that Riho is defending at the pay-per-view. If there is, they haven't announced it yet. But I don't like the fact that she is defending it just 2 weeks after winning the title. I think they're putting too much on Rio's shoulders for the women's division, and I want to see more of Pearsley. God, I want to see more of Pearsley. I want to see Awesome Kong. I want to see other people. Get Nyla back in there, do something. We don't need to see Sakura like ever again. We really don't. But I want to see some other people come in here. She shouldn't have to defend her title just a couple weeks after winning the title. So I thought that match was solid. I really like that match. Then we get Shawn Spears versus Jon Moxley, with Moxley winning. If you guys aren't aware, Jon Moxley is Dean Ambrose from WWE. Moxley won. It was a solid match. And, I thought it was a solid match. Then we kind of had where Kenny Omega comes out. They were going to do this barbed wire thing. And then Pac comes behind Omega, hits him in the back of the head with the chair, kind of ends with that. And then the main event was Dustin Rhodes, Hangman versus Sammy Guevara, Justin Bieber versus Jericho, which ended in just a giant brawl where everybody came out. Jericho and them got the win. And then we had Goodnight RDD. And then we got the Young Bucks coming out, and just everybody and their mom coming out. Cody Rhodes coming out. Just a giant clusterfuck there, and that was pretty much the show. I thought it wasn't as good as last week, but I think last week they had to really kind of come out with a good show as their premiere show. I thought it was a solid show. Still some of the best wrestling I've seen in a long time. I loved how I'm going to keep going back to that tag match because I love that tag match so much. But I liked how they had the tag match, and then you see oh my god, what's his name? Christopher Daniels and Frankie at ringside. Then they had the other couple teams at ringside just watching the tag match. But yeah, I really liked how that went. Loved when Derby came out. Thank you for reminding me, Jay. Thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot about that at the end where Jericho was up on a rant, and then Darby came down on the skateboard and just laid out Jericho with the skateboard. That's a wrestler I'm going to look forward to seeing more of. I still wish his title match wasn't next week. I wish he would take on the winner of Rhodes versus Jericho. Build up to it. But yeah, he's a wrestler that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of. I like those wrestlers that have the dark gothic persona, like Kane, Undertaker, Mankind, Abyss. I like those type, even Sting. I like those type of wrestlers that have that kind of persona. I want to see what they do more with him. It looks like he's going to be a face. It doesn't look like he's going to be a heel, whereas Havoc definitely looks like he's the heel. God knows he bites a lot for some reason. But yeah, just overall, I thought it was a solid show. I found it entertaining. I want to see them expand more with the roster. I'm glad Cody Rhodes sat out this week. We got a little bit more. Omega sat out this week. So, and I like how they're keeping records. I really do. I like how they're keeping records. Like when Guevara came out, is like, singles matches he's 0-2, tag matches he's like 1-1 or 2-1. I like how they're doing that. So I like how they're keeping records, right? They're making this legit. Now the question is, because I know this is relatively new, is MJF is going to turn heel soon. I have a feeling too. They're leading up to that. I wouldn't be surprised at the pay-per-view he will turn. It's too obvious. That's one of my biggest criticism with wrestling, right? Like wrestling, like in the 90s, there was turns where you didn't see coming, but like once you kind of see it, like what's happening now. And it's like they just the way they kept going. Oh, that's his friend. Oh, he's gonna turn on him. Oh no, he really is his friend. It's like they made it so obvious that this is Cody Rhodes' friend, and I definitely think at the pay-per-view that he's gonna cost Cody Rhodes the title. There's no way Cody Rhodes is winning that title at the pay-per-view. I don't think it'd be right for one of the owners to win the title right up front. Right away. That's why I felt like it was justified when the Young Bucks lost in the tournament. I wish they would have lost later on in the tournament instead of early on in the tournament. But yeah, the MJF is definitely going to turn on Cody Rhodes. I have absolutely no doubt on that. They're going to build that thing up, man. What is there, 2 more weeks before the pay-per-view? So yeah, that's going to happen. There was something I was going to say. I had in the back of my mind. I was going to say it. I can't remember what the hell I was going to say. Oh, my God, man. What the hell was I going to say? I don't remember what the hell I was going to say. If you guys got any questions, you can guys start firing in questions anytime you want. And I'll try to answer as many as I can. If you have predictions, you want to see a way a certain storyline going. Just go ahead and fire that in, and I'll try to get to them. Overall, I thought the show was very, very positive. They did a much better job this week with the commercials. I thought that for sure. Last week, the commercials were just like in odd places. This week, the commercials were much, much better. I enjoyed how they handled the commercials this week. There was a lot of wrestling. Only one promo set. That's when the Inner Circle was introduced. Where, like WWE is like wrestling match promo, wrestling match promo, wrestling match promo, wrestling match promo, promo, wrestling match. But this was like all wrestling. I enjoyed that, and it was really good. I don't think MJF is going to go heel for a long time. He'll just be a dick as a face. Possibly. But I don't know. I do think he's going to go. I'm going to go with Cole on this one. I think MJF is going to turn heel. For how long, I don't know. Maybe join the Inner Circle, possibly. I would much rather see MJF in the Inner Circle rather than Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara, I'm not sold on him. I'm not. Good wrestler, but I'm not sold on his look, man. He looks like a Justin Bieber wannabe, man. It's like, I expect him to start, breaking out in a song. Jack Hager versus Luchasaurus. I don't even know who that is. Luchasaurus. I have no idea who that is. If they, like I said, I'm just jumping back into AEW. I have no idea what a lot of these wrestlers are. Quincy Gray. WWE got a lot of shit from Hell in a Cell. Yeah, I haven't watched WWE in 8 years. I don't care about WWE. I will not watch WWE until Vince McMahon passes away. That sounds horrible. I don't wish that on anybody. It's just, as long as he's alive, he's going to have creative input on WWE. And Vince McMahon is very much out of touch with today. He is. CM Punk tried to get, as much as he could out of that company. They didn't. They just don't. I hear NXT is great, and I watched NXT for a little bit, but it has that WWE flavor, man. You know what I mean? Like, WWE has certain wrestling, like the way they work, man. all their wrestling matches almost feel the same. You know what I mean? CM Punk already said he's not joining AEW. He had dinner with Cody Rhodes. They discussed it, but he's not going to be wrestling, man. He's not going to be wrestling. Zouder Striker, I agree 100%. I was talking about that about 15 minutes ago, that they need a TV title. They need a mid-card title, because right now all their entire roster is all fighting for the big title, which is good. That means everybody's trying. It's fantastic. But the problem with that is you can't have title matches every week. You know what I mean? You can't have title matches at your pay-per-view and title matches on TV. You need a mid-card title. You need something to keep people invested in the show, not just the lead up to the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? You can only, like, if Rio's defending her title next week, like, I forgot who told me, was it Dan? Who was it? Yeah, it was Dane Insane told me that Rio is defending her title next week. That's the second women's title match in 3 weeks. So, you can't just keep, resorting to the women's title for title matches to bring in talent, or bring in numbers, I'm very much looking forward to it. I like Rio. I want to see the women's wrestle. But we're still like a month away before the tag titles are crowned. So right now we only have 2 titles we're working with. They need to introduce a television title. They just have to. I know people are like, why we got to introduce a TV title? Why not a hardcore title? Because the hardcore title is gimmicky, man. The hardcore title is gimmicky. We don't need a hardcore title. You can't do a cruiserweight title, because then you're boxing everybody into a certain category. And you don't want to do that either. And I think Intercontinental title and United States title are, they're so common, right? We've seen WCW do it. We've seen WWE do it. The TV title with WCW and ECW meant something. You had elite wrestlers hold the TV title. So I think you can have the TV title on AEW. And, and if you want to go original with it, and you kind of want to do a TV title but put a spin on it, why not come up with a title and call it the Dynamite title? It's the Dynamite title. You defend it on Dynamite. Yes, you can defend it on the pay-per-view, but it's the Dynamite title. So yeah, I think that would work. You can do something, man. But you really, 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 really need a mid-card title. That's just my thoughts on it. You need a mid-card title, and they can't keep doing these title matches. So even though I'm very much looking forward to the title match next week. Legend Darkside Legend King says, do you like the commentator for AEW or not, Robert? I'm a fan of Tony Schiavone. I've been a fan of Tony Schiavone since WCW Nitro. I've been a fan of JR since Raw, around the same time as Nitro, the Monday Night Wars. I was a fan of both Zouder, Booker T was my favorite TV champion of all time. Booker T and then Rob Van Dam. Like, those were my 2 favorite. But the WCW TV title, like, all the elites had that, man. I'm talking about, Eddie Guerrero to fall for it. Chris Benoit, Booker T, Dean Malenko. These were all people fighting for the TV title back in WCW. But, yeah, I like the commentators. I'm a fan of Tony Schiavone. I'm a fan of, Jim Ross, of course. The other guy, the guy who wears a luchador mask, I forgot his name. But, I don't understand why he's wearing a luchador mask, but sure, whatever. You're commentating. I don't need to see your face. But, yeah, I like the commentary. I think the commentary, it feels real, right? Like, I still can't listen to WWE's commentary. You have Michael Cole, and then you have, like, a couple people that I don't even know who they are anymore, and it doesn't feel real. It feels, like, scripted and stuff, where, like, JR and Tony Schiavone are able to kind of, like, handle the commentary the way they want. It feels raw. It feels natural. Who's the best wrestler in AEW right now? I can't say. That's impossible for me to say. It's impossible for me to say. I've only seen two shows, which are the 2 Dynamite shows. I haven't seen any of the pay-per-views. We know how good Jericho and Cody Rhodes and all that stuff is. We know, Jack Swagger, and we know all these guys because they were WWE guys. I like Joel Gertner a lot. the quintessential stud muffin. So it's impossible to say. We need to sit. We need to be able to let the show kind of develop and see where they're going. I like what I'm seeing from Omega. I like what I'm seeing from the Hangman. Even though I give a little Justin Bieber shit, he can wrestle. They have a lot of talented wrestlers, but they just don't have time to shine, and everybody's going for that title right now. So we just that's another reason why we need a TV title, man. To give more people just a chance at more of a spotlight. But it's just I don't know who the best wrestler is right now. That's impossible for me to say. Especially after 2 shows. And I think the good thing is everybody has their own unique talent, but they all look pretty solid, if that makes any sense. So, I mean, yeah, it's impossible to say. I will say this, though. Jericho, I'm a fan of Jericho, but, Jericho is definitely out of his prime. He's flabby now. He's not as tight, his skin is real flabby, he's a little overweight, he can still wrestle, still do things, but, I don't want to see Jericho hold on that title for long, I want to see him drop it sooner than later, you know what I mean? So, yeah, but hopefully we get some people in there, like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I'd like to see some TNA guys come over, I really would like to see AJ Styles come over. I don't like AJ Styles on WWE. I never thought that was a good fit. I'm a massive AJ Styles fan. His friend Christopher Daniels is over in AEW. So, and I know Christopher Daniels is in the tag tournament, but Christopher Daniels is a phenomenal wrestler. The Fallen Angel, he's a phenomenal wrestler. Chris Jericho's pushing 50. Yeah, man. So what else we got here? I'll take a few more questions. Then I'm gonna go ahead and end it for the night. What else we got here? King of the Ring style tournament would be interesting to watch. Only if they do it for a title. I don't want to see King of the Ring just for the King of the Ring. I never liked the King of the Ring gimmick on WWE. Never liked it. It was so stupid. It's like you have a tournament just to crown someone King of the Ring, and then they spend the next year going, I'm King Booker. It's like, get the fuck out of here with this stupid shit, man. If it ain't a tournament for a title, I don't care. I don't want it. I want a tournament for a title. That's what I want. AJ Styles said he's going to retire in WWE. I doubt that. AJ Styles still got plenty left to do in his career, and money talks, man. Money talks, So, and wrestlers never retire. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I read an article now where Hogan's talking about doing another WrestleMania match. So, wrestlers never hardly ever retire. What else we got here? Jericho would keep the belt for 6 months or so just to make it solidified as a good title. I wouldn't be surprised. That's actually a good call, man. Samuel writes, I agree with you on AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Yeah, man. If you go back and watch their TNA matches, look that thing up on TNA. Look up AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels in the triple threat match. They did, 2 of them? I was there live for the second one. I was there for AJ, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels too. I was there. I was in the arena. And, dude, those are some of the greatest matches of all time, man. Just AJ was so good back then, dude. And his style just doesn't fit the WWE style, man, unfortunately. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. I thought it was a great show. I want to thank Dane the Insane for your Super Chat donations, buddy. I appreciate you so very much. Super Chats help keep this channel up afloat. I appreciate that. Hopefully you guys hit that like button. Tell me if you enjoyed this live discussion. If you want to see me do more every Wednesday night, just leave the comments. Tell me you want to see it every Wednesday night, and then we'll keep it going until the viewership drops off. That's the way it goes on this channel. I want to thank everybody for coming out, leaving your comments, your questions, your super chats. I love each and every one of you guys, and I hope to see you guys again next week. Until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion. Later, guys.